So a confirmed tornado about 2 miles southwest of Pilger. Let's take a look here at how that matches up with our scope here, and it does match up about like what we were looking at. In fact, if we put on our distance tool, you can see there's Pilger and about 2 to 3 miles southwest. The leading edge of that would be about 2 miles southwest of Pilger. That is a confirmed tornado, and that's right in the area here where you can see the green meeting the red. That is where the confirmed tornado is on the ground. If you are in Pilger, prepare for a tornado on the ground. Get to your safe place right away. A safe place is the basement or lowest level of your home, a small room or hallway in the middle of the building. Stay away from windows, get under stairs, table, or a workbench. Cover your head and abandon mobile homes. Tim Seaman just delivering a report from Twitter that homes are destroyed and damaged in Stanton. So in the Stanton area, homes have been damaged and destroyed. So this is a very serious situation. You can see the storm that was originally in the Stanton area and then moved northeast toward the Pilger area. You can expect possibly similar damage around Pilger since homes have been damaged and destroyed near Stanton. Please take this storm very seriously. This is a very strong storm that has destroyed homes and damaged homes in Stanton. It may be doing the same in Pilger, and the area of rotation inside of that circle on your TV screen indicates the area of strongest rotation. So Pilger currently under that tornado warning. Areas north of Wisner and southern Wayne County as well currently under that tornado warning. Let's look here to where that storm may be headed next. Of course, Thurston and Pender not under a warning right now, but the storm is headed right that way. At 4:16 p.m., we had a report from a train spotter confirming a tornado 4 miles west of Wisner. That's, of course, in Cumming County at 4:16, 4 miles west of Wisner. Let's clear our tracking tool and go back into the heart of the storm. That tells us this storm is still alive. This storm is still on the ground 4 miles west of Wisner. There you see the city of Wisner, and there you see Highway 275 exiting to the west from Wisner. Everybody listen up. I have a new tornado report of a confirmed observed tornado and 2-inch hail. 2 confirmed tornadoes observed. One was just northeast of Pilger. The other was about 4 miles west-northwest of Wisner. So there are now 2 tornadoes with this storm. 2 tornadoes with this storm. One was just northeast of Pilger. The other was about 4 miles west-northwest of Wisner. They're both moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. So where we see the strong rotation here, that is probably one of the tornadoes northeast of Pilger, right about there. That may be the first one, just north of Highway 275. The other one, 4 miles northwest of Wisner. You can see that rotation right about there. Let's get out our distance tool. Of course, between Pilger and Wisner, not too long of a distance. Very violent rotation being reported by a storm spotter 8 miles north of Wisner. Very violent rotation reported 8 miles north of Wisner with this storm. There you can see where we may have a tornado. Well, we do have a tornado on the ground 8 miles north of Wisner. Very violent rotation. The last tornado reports were 2 miles, actually 4 miles northwest of Wisner, and 1 tornado just northeast of Pilger. This is likely where you see the tornado icon north of Highway 275. That is likely where that tornado is still on the ground. In fact, let's put the tracking tool on right away on our funnel path. If you're obviously in Wisner, I hope you're in your tornado safe place. You need to be right away. Don't wait to see it. Take shelter now. Your life could depend upon it. Violent rotation indicated around Cumming County, as well as in the Wisner area and the Pilger areas. Let's look back at our scope, our velocity tool, and you can just see the twist when you look at the different colors on the screen there. That's where the air, where the wind is moving, and there's the new scan. Very strong rotation to the northeast of Pilger. I'd be very surprised if that tornado wasn't still on the ground, in fact. Remember, this is the storm that destroyed and damaged homes in Stanton. So if you are northeast of Pilger, north of Wisner, prepare for a large and possibly very destructive tornado. Latest update on the observed tornado. Listen up, everyone, if you're just joining us. A tornado is now observed with 2-inch hail and that's for Cumming and Stanton and Wayne counties. Here's the latest at 4:27, about 1 minute ago. A confirmed tornado was located about 3 miles north of Wisner, and that's moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. Repeating, a confirmed tornado on the ground 3 miles north of Wisner and moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. That is likely what we see right here with the rotation. And again, that was 3 miles north of Wisner where we had the confirmed tornado on the ground. Let's put our track on here from Wisner, 1, 2, and 3 miles. Very possibly that was where we had that tornado on the ground. Remember, these are moving northeast as we speak, and the tornado is moving at about 40 miles per hour. Here's a new report. A spotter 8 miles north of Wisner says 2 tornadoes are 1 mile apart. 2 tornadoes are 1 mile apart, 8 miles north of Wisner. If you are north of Wisner, prepare for 2, possibly 2 large destructive tornadoes. Let's put our track back on because that makes more sense. 8 miles north would correspond with what we just saw. Now you can see a new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued in the yellow box. That includes the Wakefield area, the Thurston area, the Pender area, and Walt Hill as well. Going to get a quick look at that. That's going to be for 2-inch hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts that could be converted into a tornado warning as well. But again, for now, that's a new severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Wayne County, northwestern Cumming County, northwestern Thurston County, and northeastern Stanton County until 5:15 p.m. For some hail up to 2 inch in diameter and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That will be enough to do considerable damage. Catastrophic damage reported near Pilger. We need emergency personnel ASAP. Multiple injuries near Pilger. Catastrophic damage. We need emergency personnel and multiple injuries. Now, please do not go to that area if you are not emergency personnel. Please stay away. In fact, you want to let emergency personnel do their job.
Yes, Fred, a spotter reports that he is now seeing a new tornado forming. This is just to the north of Wisner, 8 miles north of Wisner. He's seeing a new tornado that is reaching the ground at this time. Just about a half mile to his north. So we're talking about 8.5 miles north of Wisner.
And that would make sense what we're seeing here. There is Wisner and a new tornado forming about 8 miles north, directly north, was that?
That's correct, directly north.
8 miles directly north of Wisner. We just got a report of a new tornado forming. Let's see if our distance tool will let us track that. About 8 miles to the north. That would be right about like so. And that would correspond fairly well with what we're seeing here on the screen. Let's go to our rotation tracking tool. And you can see here that there's really strong and has been indicated by the spotters violent rotation here this afternoon north of Wisner. The area in the red box, of course, is under a tornado warning. And this is likely where that new tornado was formed. Where you see the greens right up against the reds, that's where the storm is twisting, moving away from the radar in the red and toward the radar. There's a new tornado warning. I was expecting that we probably would see that, and that does include the following areas. It does not include the city of Wayne. It comes right up to Wakefield. It also includes just right at the line there at Emerson. Thurston and Pender are included in that new tornado warning. And as we go to the eastern edge of it, Walt Hill is included as well. So that's the new tornado warning, and that new warning, which I think is very wisely issued based on what we've seen, is going to go until 5:15 p.m. for a good portion of Thurston County as well as a good portion of Wayne County as well. 5:15 p.m. I do want to make clear that at the moment, this warning does not include the city of Wayne. Those of you watching in Wayne, a very powerful storm is missing just to the east of you. There is where the rotation is indicated, and I think our tracking tool there is lined up pretty well against that reported tornado north of Wisner. We'll put our funnel path tool back on. I'm going to go back to Scott in just a second. There you see some arrival times. Thurston 5:13, Emerson 5:23. Scott, tell us the latest.
Fred, we have a new tornado warning that has gone into effect for Buena Vista, Cherokee, Clay, and O'Brien counties. This is radar indicated at this time, but this is for Buena Vista, Cherokee, Clay, O'Brien counties until 5:30 this afternoon, and it's moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. That's a new tornado warning.
Thank you very much, Scott. You just heard a new tornado warning issued, and we're going to go to that right away based on what's going on this afternoon. We want to take each one of these warnings very seriously. Of course, this is by far the strongest storm. So if those of you in eastern Nebraska, we will be right back here in just a moment. But tornado warning is a tornado warning, and so I want to show you this storm here, Larrabee, up moving towards Spencer and Greenville as well. Let's zoom in a little bit closer to get a little better idea of where that tornado may be still on the ground. And as we go in here, I would say this is probably where the tornado is still located, where we see the strongest change in color over just a short distance. That's where you see the rotation, those strong rotating winds right along here. Now, of course, this is a rural area, so those of you in that area, we're talking about spots to the west of Pender and Thurston. If that's you, you need to get to a shelter right away. And I'm going to attempt to show you some landmarks, depending if there's a road that our computers wants to identify. 850th Road on the north end, 849th Road there on the south. East of the storm, 849th as well. And west of the storm there, we're talking about 581st. Let's go over here and see there's 586th Avenue. If you are in these areas, that is likely where the tornado currently is located.
Fred, we now have a picture of the dual tornadoes near Wisner. If we can pull that up. Very powerful tornadoes there. This is near Wisner. This comes to us from ABC News.
These are two tornadoes, those dual tornadoes that we had told you about near Wisner. An absolutely incredible picture that you're looking at. This was the report from near Wisner. So this is what you need to prepare for as we go back to radar, and we'll keep the pictures coming as we get them in. Of course, west of Thurston now, that's where that tornado is probably still on the ground. And a new tornado warning, there we have it, that has just been issued, and this does include the Sioux City Metro. You can see that the new tornado warning has just been issued, and this does include part but not all of the Sioux City Metro, almost all of Dakota County, the southeastern corner of Dixon County, southern parts of Union County in South Dakota. That would include Dakota Dunes and North Sioux City. Ponca's right on the edge, Sergeant Bluff, Homer, the Sioux City Airport, Morningside, downtown Sioux City under a tornado warning right now. Again, this is going to be a new tornado warning that has just been issued. You can see the arrival time, or the expiration time is going to be 5:30 p.m. So we're talking about possible tornadoes now in the Sioux City Metro in the next half hour. That means you need to take shelter right away. This tornado moving northeast at 35, you just said, Scott, is that right?
That's correct, and last it was seen just south of Wakefield at this time.
There's the tornado that was reported near Wakefield, and we will continue here to track that right west of Emerson and just east of Wakefield. That would be the tornado right there that's continuing to move to the east. Now, I wanted to put some tools on here to show you, of course, roads in the area. There's Nebraska Highway 9. There's Wakefield, Nebraska 35 headed north of there. There you see Emerson and Highway 9 headed south, and of course there's Nebraska 35. So it looks like this storm might almost want to follow Highway 35 as it moves to the northeast. If you're on the road, or if you know somebody on the road on Nebraska Highway 35 between Wakefield and south of Sioux City near Hubbard, you want to make sure that they get off the road and into a safe place right away.
Just want to say, with the velocity data we've been looking at too, these wind speeds around the tornado too are incredible. So it doesn't take just the tornado to cause some major damage, huge winds feeding into this tornado. So please, if you are within anywhere in this red box, take shelter, as this is going to be a huge storm.
You're absolutely right, Scott. And as you can see here, our latest track now does give arrival times for the Sioux City Metro. We are a little bit away from these times, but I also want to mention that this storm has a history of staying on the ground. This storm was originally reported on the ground west of Stanton, Nebraska, then moved through the Pilger area toward Wisner. It has now moved up toward Emerson. It has now started to move out of the Thurston area, and it is headed northeast. So if you are in these areas, of course, Emerson, you should be taking shelter right away. Hubbard, Jackson, Dakota Dunes, South Sioux City, North Sioux City, and Sioux City, all now included in the tornado warning for a confirmed tornado on the ground located near Emerson, Nebraska. We have new tornado warnings across our northern viewing area, and we're going to go there, and Scott's getting those in on the in the Weather Center as well. You can see one of them here includes a Sibley, Ocheyedan, north of Melvin. Of course, we've already had one of those this afternoon, but now a new tornado warning, it looks like, for that area. That's going to go until 5:30 p.m. For parts of Osceola County, around the Sibley area, towards Ocheyedan as well. Scott, I assume that was radar indicated?
Yes, that's a radar indicated tornado with hail up to $half in size and diameter.
Okay.
It's moving northeast at 25 miles per hour.
Okay, so those of you around that area, we'll track that very quickly here. Those of you headed towards Sibley and Ocheyedan, you want to avoid travel. That may be producing 1.14-inch hail in addition to the possibility of a tornado. And Scott, let's go back to locations if we could on our ESP Live tracking. I want to get some locations here, and let me know when you've got that done.
We are all set.
Thanks, Scott. There you go, Melvin 532. Of course, Melvin already had a spotted tornado earlier this afternoon. So that's one tornado warning. Now let's slide off to the east and southeast. We've been telling you in Spencer you want to take shelter. Some rotation indicated on radar just moving into the south side of Spencer right now with a tornado warning in effect for the Spencer area. You can see that rotation where the greens and reds meet. A little more disorganized than what we saw in Nebraska, but the way these storms are and the environment these storms are operating in this afternoon and this evening, these storms could produce a tornado at any time. You should be taking shelter right away in Spencer. In Spencer, that warning is going to expire at 5:30. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to trust memory on that. Lots going on this afternoon.
New Fred, with that storm about 5 minutes ago, there was also a report of a rotating funnel cloud just near Peterson, 13 miles southwest of Spencer, with that storm moving northeast.
So Peterson, southwest of Spencer, reported a rotating funnel cloud. If you're not familiar, a rotating funnel cloud is often the parent of a tornado. Let's zoom you back into the Sioux City Metro, where we have a tornado warning in effect, and that's one of the reasons why we're on the air here. Scott, go ahead.
That's right. Fred, we received a call just a few minutes ago, too, from a woman near Hy-Vee in Morningside. She said that a 5-foot piece of sheet metal came falling out of the sky. That could be debris from this tornado as it's moving into the area. So this is a very dangerous situation. If you can stay home and get in a safe spot, this is the time to do so.
I've been told here we have some pictures from Nebraska. I don't know exact details on location, but I would like to see them. This is a picture of extreme destruction from Nebraska. If anybody knows where this is from Pilger. You can see the destruction there from Pilger. Let's go on to the next picture from Nebraska. Does anybody know where this was taken? These are all Pilger area. This was the tornado as it moved through the Pilger area. Obviously a huge tornado. You can see the width of that thing. Storm assessment will occur later, but based on the kind of pictures we're seeing, you know, we're thinking easily EF2, but probably more like EF3. Maybe an EF4, that's just a guess.
Well, Fred, I just wanted to say again, this storm has a long history of producing damage, and at Faith Regional Hospital in Norfolk, along with Providence Medical Center in Wayne, Nebraska, they're both receiving patients. This storm did incredible damage in the Pilger area, catastrophic damage. We showed some imagery earlier of a school there that was hit very hard, and I'm sure several homes and additional businesses were hit by tornado as well. So Faith Regional is telling us that at least a half a dozen patients have been received. Additional patients are expected. So this is a serious business thunderstorm.
It certainly is, and it advises and underscores the point. Anywhere across Siouxland right now, you do not want to travel. Stay off the roads for your safety and so that emergency personnel can get through. Really strong rotation indicated right over the Sioux City Metro right now. We have a tornado warning in effect. There we go. This is really impressive. You can see here that's that same rain-free base, Scott, that you were calling out a few minutes ago. Tell us too, Scott, what you're seeing here. Scott, you and I have both chased storms before, so we know that this is what you want to look for the possibility of a lowering.
Yes, very sharp contrast there too with the horizon and that rain-free base. So there is, we have seen rotation on radar. I'm sure the storm is rotating, and we do have some lowering as well there. So this is where we could be seeing a tornado. We've gotten a report in of golf ball-sized hail in South Sioux City, and also in 1 mile north of Sioux City, there's a report of half-dollar-sized hail that comes from a storm chaser here about 2 minutes ago. Also, several reports of pea-sized hail in the Morningside and Sergeant Bluff areas.
Thank you very much, Scott. That's the latest here as the storm rolls through the Sioux City Metro. I'd like to go back to some pictures, actually. We have some more pictures from Nebraska, eastern Nebraska's storms. Can anybody help me in the newsroom? Let me know exactly what we're looking at here with this picture. That's the school in Pilger again. Another shot of that. You can see the extensive damage. Here's another shot of the school in Pilger. Keep looking at some of these pictures as well. This is another shot. I believe these are all Pilger. Is that correct? These are all Pilger shots in that area, we believe. And you can see the extensive damage here to buildings, the school. We did have a report of some significant injury as well. Catastrophic damage underscores the strength of these storms here this afternoon. So there you can see another shot of just extensive destruction. Bullet Baudette, if you're with us, why don't you just go ahead and tell us what you saw, if you can hear me, when you shot this, and we'll take it from there. Go ahead.
I heard you talking about it being at Walt Hill, and actually it was about 4 miles west of Pender where I filmed these at. I am from Walt Hill. Maybe that's where you got mixed up. But, yeah, I heard it come over the scanner here. I worked for the roads department at Thurston County, and everybody was out spotting and everything. And I saw something that west of Pender, and I drove out that way and watched on the hill there, and then I kind of saw this thing form. There was basically 2 of them. I took about 12 different videos. I know I sent several of them to Travis, but I don't even know for sure which ones you guys have. But I think this is the same storm that came through Pilger and caused all that. And I watched it go up through Hubbard and kind of up by Jackson and all that. So,
thank you very much. Did you have any damage in your area or locally?
They're telling me that there's some out to the Dale Cruise Mark farm, but I can't confirm that. I haven't been out there, but that's what I've been hearing on the radio. So.
This is a really incredible video that you shot, and we appreciate you sharing this with us. Did you get any other severe weather, such as large hail with the storm, or any other damage reports that you know of in your vicinity?
I didn't experience any of it. I heard people talking about it on the radio, and heavy rains right there by Emerson again, which they didn't really need. They just got 6 inches the other night. But yeah, I didn't experience any hail where I was at. So.
How long do you think this tornado was on the ground?
Oh, geez. It was on the ground a long time. I just looked at my videos, and I took 12 of them, and they averaged anywhere from, 20 seconds to a minute. So, I mean, this thing was probably, I watched it for probably 15 minutes. So, I guess at least 15 minutes that I know of. Did you see any debris flying around? Yeah. Yeah, I did see debris flying around, and I'm not going to say it was buildings or anything like that. It could have been corn stalks and everything else, but there was definitely debris, flying around in the rotation. So.
Okay. And in this video, we're seeing multiple tornadoes. How many different tornadoes spun up over the course of when you were standing there shooting this video and when you were witnessing everything that was occurring?
I saw 2 of them, basically. I don't know which videos I sent you for sure. I think you can see 2 of them in there. But, yeah, it kind of looked like started as nothing, and the farther I drove west, it just kind of started forming, and it basically formed right there in front of me.
Good evening to you. We want to give Fred a little break and bring you some information that we've been taking from the phones and from online, and thank you to the viewers calling us, and we've been able to connect with the medical centers in Wayne and Norfolk to bring you updates on what's going on. First of all, we want to mention travel is not advised around the areas of Wisner, Pilger, Stanton, and Wayne on Highway 275 and Highway 15. They want to keep those open for emergency crews only. So if you're in that area, this is not the time, unfortunately, to respond, even if you have good intentions, because they want to make sure those ambulances can get to the people that need them.
And unfortunately, the need is there today. It was earlier this afternoon at about 5 o'clock that we got word that the Wayne Providence Medical Center there had gone on code yellow because they were expecting what they called mass casualties. And unfortunately, tonight we do have news of at least 1 fatality connected to these terrible storms today. Faith Regional in Norfolk talking to us as well, and at the Faith Regional in Norfolk, just a couple moments ago, they did confirm that they have 1 fatality at their hospital. 16 patients have been admitted in critical condition this evening, and 4 more are currently in transport. And at this point, they're still not sure exactly how many more could be coming. Again, that is from Faith Regional Hospital in Norfolk, Nebraska.
The information we have in so far is that Pilger seems to be the town that's most badly hit at this point, and of course patients are being taken from there, as Tim said, to Wayne and to Norfolk, and lots of damage of property in that area as well. We're just starting to get some pictures in.
And the folks at Providence Medical Center in Wayne earlier today telling us that they had dispatched 2 ambulances to 2 different locations, 1 going to Wakefield, 1 going to Pilger, that they had nurses at both of those sites administering a triage as well, taking care of those patients on site before they've been transported. And both of those hospitals in the middle of this emergency tonight.
Up in in Dixon County, we have a spotter 4 miles north of Dixon, Nebraska, saying a very large wedge tornado is located due west of them. So they're 4 miles north of Dixon, and they say a very large wedge tornado is located just west of them. Moving right along Highway 20, where it meets Highway 59 as well. Some other road and landmarks I'm putting on the screen for those of you that live in the area. And right now, we would think that the tornado is moving right into these areas. New information coming in. Here we go, a new report, a violent wedge tornado. A spotter is located 3 miles northwest of Belden, and a large wedge tornado is in progress 1 to 2 miles to the spotter's north. On the ground right now, 3 miles northwest of Belden in Nebraska. A new report just came in. Matt and I are looking at this together. 2 miles west of Laurel that we just showed you there. A large tornado moving toward Laurel. 2 miles to the west of Laurel, the large tornado is moving in that direction. We have a great picture of a tornado, and I want to confirm the location on this. Allison, could I confirm? Oh, that's in Coleridge. Okay, we have a picture, and I'd like to take that. This is the picture of the tornado from Coleridge. This was from Twitter. This is an incredible picture, and we thank the individual that shared this with us. This is what we're dealing with here tonight. This is the picture of the tornado in the Coleridge area. Very dangerous. What that means right now, back to radar, what that means right now is those of you in Coleridge and Laurel and Belden, as well as Allen, you want to take shelter right away. Matt, you have something new to tell us, so go ahead.
Yeah, just got a report actually from a storm chaser that's out there following this tornado right now. His name is Dick McGowan. He's been tweeting about this tornado since it's formed, actually, saying this is one of the most, if not the most violent tornado he's ever seen. So again, this is a very dangerous situation. You've been emphasizing that, Fred, for the last, about 20 minutes or so, really getting this information out there. But again, this is from someone who is out there, Dick McGowan, storm chaser, following this tornado right now. One of, if not the most violent tornado he has ever seen.
There you heard it, that this is not just any tornado, it's a large, violent, destructive tornado. We have a picture that we were showing you as the storm moved through Coleridge. Let's bring that picture back up. It was a dramatic picture around Coleridge, and we want to take another look at that picture if we could, that we got a few minutes ago. Yeah, production could bring up that Coleridge picture. That would be great. If not, we'll get to it in a few minutes. There it is. This is a new picture, actually, that we have not looked at before, I believe. And I would love to get more information, too, on this. I'm going to assume that this was around Coleridge, but I don't have confirmation on that. Now, in terms of where is the storm heading next, that is the question that we want to answer, because a lot of you are wondering, do you need to take shelter? Well, first of all, if you're inside of these red boxes, you hopefully are already there, but if for some reason you're not, you need to be. That is Coleridge to Laurel, as well as Martinsburg to Dixon, to Allen, down to Wakefield as well. That's where we have those tornado warnings in effect. The western box for Cedar County will be expiring at 9, and the eastern box 9:30. Go ahead, guys.
Yes, Fred, a new observation in from a National Weather Service observer. He reports the tornado here at 8:52. It's a rain-wrapped tornado 5 miles to the northwest of Laurel. Again, this is a National Weather Service official. He's observing the tornado on the ground right now. A rain-wrapped tornado, very violent, 5 miles to the northwest of Laurel.
All right, you just heard it, a rain-wrapped violent tornado 5 miles northwest of Laurel, Nebraska. And it does look like this storm is taking a southeastern path. While everybody in these red boxes needs to take shelter immediately, the most dangerous part of the storm is probably from Allen over toward Laurel and maybe down toward Wakefield as well.